Welcome, team, to episode 79 of the Keep Going podcast, Athletes Shining a Light on Mental Health. Co-host Luke Week coming out of Alcoa, Tennessee, right here. Pat, where are you coming out of this morning?
Yeah, man, I'm out here in Roscoe, Illinois, beautiful Roscoe, Illinois. 79, man. We hope the Cubs get to 79 wins. That's all I'm going to say about that. I had to make a little joke about it. Max, where you coming out of, brother?
I'm currently in Rockford, Illinois right now. I'm usually in Madison, Wisconsin, but that's where I am today, and thank you for hosting me.
Always,
Love
man.
it.
Shout out to 815. Shout out Rock Valley, baby. We're here.
Yes, sir.
Shout
Yes,
out
sir.
the whole Rock Valley community. You guys have been great on socials for this episode. So I know a lot of Rock Valley folks will be listening. But Max, man, this has been a long time coming, man. Like your energy at 8 in the morning is something I cannot replicate. Talk about why you're a good fit for the podcast, why you want to come on this morning.
Well, I mean, I can't say that I'm a great or a good fit for this, to be honest. I would have to say that that's up to you. And I'm definitely very appreciative of being on here. You were my coach at Rock Valley and stuff to bring up some Rock Valley references again. So you obviously saw me throughout some time while I was playing and stuff. So you got to see some of my energy there. So I appreciate you having me on, and I'll try to give as much energy as I can this morning. Keep it nice and lively. So we'll see what we can do.
I love it, man. Go ahead, Luke.
On this Sunday morning. No, it's raining up where y'all are.
Yep.
Nice calm Sunday. Hopefully Pat gets his walk in later. But speaking of walks and daily mental health things, what's one thing you try and do a day for your mental health, man?
Every single day, I try to do. I keep it as simple as I can. I'm a big, deep breather. Really like that kind of mindfulness about it. So I can do this every single day, whether or not we're at a baseball field or not. But probably the best way for me to describe it is every time we have a national anthem or waking up in the morning, sitting outside, having a cup of coffee or something, I'll just kind of close my eyes and I'll try to take a solid 5 minutes or so and just really, really take some nice long breaths and everything. I have a focus word that every time I take a breath, I'll say it right after, finish my breath. And that's probably the biggest thing that I do for mental health for myself is that those deep breathings and mindful breathing. So I'm a big believer.
Yeah, that's not a daily activity in our classroom, but we use it. If I feel like the energy has moved on from learning, we're high energy all the time in my class. Moved on from the learning energy, then I'll kind of pull them back 5-minute meditation. I love that, dude.
No doubt, no doubt. And Luke's a big breathing guy, big box breathing guy. He's brought a lot of that to this podcast, and it's cool to kind of have others jump on and talk about it. Max, I love it, man. I know we're rolling already. And I got to start from the beginning, man. I think your story is one of those stories where, like, if you haven't been a part of it, it's kind of tough to understand, man. But I want to share it with our listeners. Talk about early on baseball for you. Talk about your family growing up in sports and kind of how you got started playing this game, man.
Cool. So, in Rockford, Illinois, there's a nice old baseball community and stuff. So I've been playing baseball here growing up since a young guy. I went to Rockford Auburn High School here, played baseball here, and I ended up going over to Rockford. And baseball for me growing up, baseball has gotten the best and worst of me in a number of ways. Where growing up, it was kind of my outlet to vent my emotions, and growing up as a teenager, you don't understand how some of those emotions are negative. They negatively impact yourself and the people around you for sure. So baseball for me, it was a give and take experience and stuff. And getting into Rock Valley, my first year, I really wanted to be all gas, no brakes. That's kind of how I am mentally. And you get around some other guys that are some good ball players, man, and kind of knock yourself back, have to put things into perspective. And I don't want this to be super in your face to start out, who I am, but I was a ball player growing up and everything, and after my freshman year at JUCO, I was playing summer ball, and I actually took a fastball to the face. And that completely changed my outlook on life, baseball, um, how I interact with the everyday people around me. So
Man,
baseball really impacted me, in the best and the worst of ways. And it really definitely hurt taking a fastball to the face, but I can't express enough how much that made me take a step back and understand, who I am in comparison to everybody around me, the game, and how much, I can actually try to take away from the game instead of just playing. Um, there's a lot of life lessons in baseball. I've learned that. I'm still a younger guy, so I'm sure I'll learn a lot more life lessons. But
Yeah.
baseball for me is really, you know, taught me how to be a man. And O'Malley, I appreciated, a ton from you
Thanks.
for showing me, how to absorb life through baseball in that sense, and Coach Chad P at Rock Valley and everybody at Edgewood and stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess that, I wasn't sure what you were looking for from me right there, but I would say that that's kind of my story with baseball and how everything began for me.
I think that's a
So,
beautiful answer. Luke, what you got?
no, I'm just sitting here thinking about that one quote we talk about all the time. You may not choose it, but everybody's baseball career comes to an end,
Yep.
right?
yeah,
And if you can take the lessons and apply it to real life, then it doesn't really have to end.
yeah,
And kind of
exactly.
like what you've done, Max, and that is massively important for our athletes to understand right now, because when you're going through tough times on the field, when you're going through good times on the field, how you react to both those things is the
Yep,
kind of person you are. So, and you can choose how you react. So you can choose the person you want to
yeah,
be.
yep,
Yeah. I love
Max
that.
chose who he wants to be, right?
Yeah, man. I love that perspective, Luke. I'm glad you went there because you do have
hmm
two choices in this. And this goes for the game of baseball, soccer, life in general. When you get punched in the face, you can go one of two ways. One, you can be the victim. You could sit down and say, I'm done with this. Or two, you could roll on, do it for yourself, and use your support group to kind of back you up. Max, I want to stay there because like your story is one where when I invited you to come on here, your story has adversity after adversity after adversity. We had Zach Baden on a couple months ago, and
Yeah.
my
if
guy.
you remember correctly, both you guys were my infielders, and both you guys did not
Yep,
start for me. And we look up 40 games later, you guys are starting a playoff game. So
yep,
talk about Rock Valley and like that adversity, because you were not, Max, I'll be honest, man, you were not an opening day starter. You had to work for what you
no,
gained.
yep, yep. And that was something, my freshman year, I didn't understand at all. I played every single game in high school and travel ball and everything. And that's one of those kind of, just speed bumps that an everyday college athlete's going to have to experience. Um, but, kind of what you were saying with support groups after I kind of had that, you know, perspective changing experience. I got on campus my sophomore year. I remember having the first couple of days of practice, and you would come up to hitters, kind of talk to us, kind of give us your outlook for how you would want to use us as players and stuff from a coaching perspective, which I genuinely appreciate because that gives guys an outlook for how to attack things. But I kind of had the feeling that I probably wasn't going to be starting every day or being an opening starter and stuff. Um, and the only thing I could really think of was how I was going to spend that time not on the field. Um, the year before, I was very negative. I would sit in the dugout and one of those guys see the lineup, be like, I'm not playing today. Okay, let me go make a PB and J in the corner of the dugout for the next 2 hours. But you know, my sophomore year, you kind of got to experience it. I just really enjoyed being with the people I was around. And the infielders became my support group. I started to look at my family, my friends off the field a little bit differently as a support group for people that I could kind of sound off to and be like, am I in the right or wrong here? So that was a really cool change in perspective going into my sophomore year. Um, and you mentioned Baden. Baden's a dog, man.
Yeah.
And seeing a freshman like that, a guy younger than me, kind of accept that experience in his own right, that does wonders for a guy that's a year older. You're like, wow, this guy's mature in this aspect. Let me kind of pick something up for that and see if I can rub that off to another guy that isn't quite getting it yet. So that was an awesome kind of experience going into my sophomore year.
And that's what makes great teams great, right? Like that's what makes great teams great because you were a completely different person when you got on campus as a sophomore than you were in comparison to a freshman. Even what Chad used to talk to me about your growth, man, like he'd say, we got this Max Orput kid and he's a good player, but like if he became a team guy, he could really help us. And you look now at your future, like later on, going to Edgewood and then going to play there and having a great career and then coaching. So like talk to me about Edgewood now. Like how you got there and all of a sudden you're playing 4-year baseball, man. Crazy stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I got to thank you for getting me to Edgewood. I'll never forget. We were down on our spring trip, and you called me into your hotel room with Chad P. And you're like, Max, listen, where do you want to go play baseball? What do you want to do going after this? And my current girlfriend still,
Shout her out.
Yep, Kathleen. Thank you very much.
The
If you
goat,
end up watching this,
oh yeah.
Yep, she went to school at UW-Madison, so. I remember talking to you. I was like, look, I want to stay close to my girlfriend. Is there anywhere near Madison that I could go play ball? And you're like, I know the place for you, man. I know a culture and an environment that you'll fit in. And you were right, man. So I thank you. Thank you very much.
Of course, man.
But
connections as usual.
Trying to.
Yeah,
hey,
exactly.
I'll say I got a connection for anybody that's a good guy, man. It's not that tough. That's for sure.
That's the truth right there, man. Anybody watching, this guy does. This guy does.
Thank you.
But yeah, getting up to Madison, it was awesome. I enjoy kind of a smaller school setting, so it was nice going to Edgewood, have a little bit smaller personal connections with classes and your teachers and everything. And then being a Madison, dude, you can't beat it. It's an awesome city, absolutely awesome place to be at. And you get a good group of guys around you, and it gets even better. So going up to Edgewood and everything from the academic side, that was, as a college athlete, you tend to ignore that aspect a little bit. So that was really nice to feel comfortable in that academic setting getting up there. So that was one. And then baseball wise, it felt good to just be able to contribute as an upperclassman for the first time.
Yeah.
Being a sophomore is technically an upperclassman at a JUCO, but once you get into a 4-year and you're a junior and everything, you feel that weight of having that experience with you. So that was nice to kind of feel like I was passing off and contributing to another culture, and that's really what was most important to me, is feeling like I was with a group of good people that are gonna play 2 more years or play 4 years, 2 years, however many years they had, and then contribute to life as a grown adult. That it feels awesome to look back at how that journey has gone for me, and to look at myself now as a coach. I work as an infielding coach now. Thank you, Pat. And I'm also a recruiting coordinator. So going through finding young guys such as myself and others, and kind of giving them my piece of life for how it might impact them, and really just hoping to see some young guys grow up into contributing pieces of society. So I can't tell you enough how excited I am to be where I am now. So thank you.
I'm gonna have Luke go, but in the words of Ned Colleran, I'm not crying, you're crying, baby. I'm not crying, you're crying. Go ahead, Luke.
So I got like a 5-minute jumps back because I'm still wondering about this fastball story. I'm still wondering about the story and kind of what happened in the timeline. And this may be, we ask everybody to keep going moments. So if you feel like this is it and you don't want to touch on it too much, we can just move on. But
I'm an open book, man.
Fast forward to this fastball moment, and you talked about how it set you out. How long were you out for? And I specifically want to know what it was like coming back and stepping in the batter's box for the first time after that.
That's a great question, actually.
Yeah.
So, see, to go back to it, it was a summer ball game. It was like 7th inning or something. So it was really non-consequential at bat. So it's funny to look back on it, actually.
That's kind of happened.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. But it was a 2-seam fastball. I thought it was going to break because I started to see a little bit of spin. I was like, that's not really breaking anymore, and I got really lucky because I got really lucky that the ball just kind of got the tip of my helmet and then kind of pushed back into my nose right here. So I don't think you can see, but I've got a couple seam marks still there, so I got a little battle scar. But that put me out for the rest of the summer. And I got cleared to start taking live ABs maybe a week before we got back into the fall for Rock Valley. So I was out for the summer, came back in, and the first day of practice was a good amount of conditioning, classic Rock Valley style. So did a good amount of running and everything. And I don't.
Yep.
What was that?
Go ahead, Luke.
Out of you boys. I said,
Yes.
Yeah, gotta love it. Gotta love it. And I don't know if it was that first day of practice or the second day of practice where we hopped straight into scrimmaging. Uh, but man, I remember taking an at bat off of Drew Bailing.
Oh my gosh!
That
Shout
kid, he
out,
was
shout
throwing.
out, Drew.
Shout out
Drew
Drew
too.
Bailing, man. I think about you sometimes, brother. I miss you. But I remember hopping into the box, and for the summer that I wasn't playing baseball, I would have a little that little spastic nightmare every couple nights a week where I'm starting to lay down, fall asleep, and then I see a ball coming toward my face. So I remember starting to hop back into the box. I was sweating, man. I was sweating, but it it was a good sweat.
yeah.
I had not having playing baseball for a little while, taking a ball to the face. It was like, man, I get to live and be here again. This is the most exciting thing in the world. And even though I was absolutely scared out of my pants, hopping in the box, I remember ripping a single up the middle, and I was like, we're back. This feels good,
I've
man.
been
I
doing this my
cannot
whole
believe I'm
life.
back.
I've been doing
Yep,
this my whole life. Yeah, man.
exactly.
Luke, I'm glad you went back there, man, because I think of that getting hit by pitches ends like 99% of careers, I'm pretty sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy to think that way, but that's a big
Yeah.
physical and mental adjustment for sure. Luke, I almost beat you to it, but the inspiring question is on my mind. So if you want to ask that one, roll with it.
No, 100%. So this is a question I love asking our guests because, this is a chance, especially, the people that inspire you, they're probably going to listen to this podcast. They're probably close to you in your life. So this is a chance for you, Max. I want you to just talk about a couple people that have inspired you throughout the years.
Oh man. Well, I got to keep throwing bones to my guy O'Malley right here. From a genuine heart to heart, I appreciate everything you've done for me from a coaching, from a friend standpoint and everything. I appreciate, how you've pushed me along and everything like that, got me to the right places where I genuinely think I have an impact in life. So thank you very much. I think this is a cool opportunity to be able to thank you straight up.
Thank you.
I've had a number of bad family things happen in the last couple of years, and you've been right there by me, man. So I appreciate that a ton. So thank
Always,
you.
man. No, I
Um,
appreciate that. Thank you.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Other than that, though, my siblings and my girlfriend, I have to say, are huge. My brother and sister, I can kind of bounce ideas off of them, just kind of vent to them when I need to. So that's huge. So thank you, brother and sister.
Yep. Shout them out.
Thank you.
Shout them out.
And then my girlfriend, obviously Kathleen, I mentioned her. She's my ride or die. She's there for everything. We talked about how we address our mental health earlier to start off the podcast, and we'll try to have a conversation once a week about how we're doing. And she's the biggest part of my support group right there. So thank you to those three and you, Pat. So thank you guys. Love you guys. Thank you for keeping me here.
Very minimal. So
Yeah,
you got
I'll tell you this. So obviously, I've known your family has been a huge part of your journey for a long time. Girlfriend, obviously included, a huge part of it. Like that's why you went out to Madison, right? Like
Exactly.
you know what I'm saying? So like, I remember those days. And I remember even at 18, 19 years old, how much she meant to you and how much family meant to you. Because you had to get out of the 815 to kind of bloom, but you didn't want to be so far
Yep.
away that you still couldn't be there for your city. And I
Exactly.
think
Yeah.
that was strong too. And I think you kind of undermined the fact that we are in Rockford, Illinois, man. Like this is like it's bad to say, but people don't make it out of here and go have careers like you're having right now. So
Exactly.
I'm proud of you. And before I go into my tangent here, I just wanted to say that. But my story, no, of course, man. I'm proud of you always. My story time is I'm out there at ABCA, man. I know you remember the story. And we're out there at the ABCA convention, and we have a lot of baseball folks that listen to this and might have been there for this. And Luke, I'm out there speaking, man. It's my first time speaking on a panel. I'm moderating with like some of the top college coaches in the country. And whoever gave me the mic, man, made a big mistake. I'm gonna be honest with you. They made a
Not true.
huge
Not
mistake.
true. No, it was good.
So I go out there, man, and I'm like shitting a brick. Like I'm not really in the best mental state. It's my first time doing it. I look out, man. I see Max Orput in the first row.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I had to be there.
Come on.
And I look at my guy, Chris Wiedelsbach, and I go, we're going to be just fine. We're going to be just fine. Because, like, sometimes you just need someone to be out there that, one, believes in you, and two, you need a friendly face that can be there, man. Max could have been in 90. There were 90 different exhibits, conversations that Max could have been in his young baseball career, and he took time to be there, and I'll never forget that, Max. So I love you for that, man. Thank you.
Right on, man. You bet. You bet. I saw your name on the itinerary for the day, and I couldn't miss it. That was the one place I had to be to at that time, regardless of all the other spots. So
yeah,
my
that's
pleasure,
love,
dude.
man. And that's love. And that's the kind of thing where like keep people, and why I bring this story up is keep people in your circle that believe in you. And keep people in your circle that are going to be ride or dies. Like Max brought up earlier with his girlfriend, you know, like be someone that goes to bat for you daily and speaks highly in you in rooms that you're not in, man. Luke, what do you got?
Yeah, 100%. And that's something that kind of like we've gotten away from a little bit as a society. There's just, in Appalachia you say sit a spell. So
Yep.
come and sit a spell like at the house and come hang out and talk. And that's something I did this week with one of my older coworkers. He's probably like 55, 58, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And he just had surgery, so I just went to his house, and he's somebody that kind of took me under his wing.
That's awesome.
At Webb a couple years ago whenever I went there. And so I just went and sat a spell at his house, and we talked for, 2 hours, 2.5 hours. And lessons I learned then or that he was trying to teach me then, and the things about his life that he shared with me, man, that's just invaluable and something that I kind of wish our generation would get back to.
Yeah.
Call somebody up and go sit with them.
Call somebody up.
Like Pat was saying earlier, he took the time to go to that conference where he knew Pat was going to be at, and he supported him that way. So just take the time to call somebody, or take the time to physically go see him this week.
That's true. Yeah.
Go ahead, Max. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean that one of my favorite things that we do at practices throughout the fall is every once in a while after practice we'll have everybody hop on a phone and make sure they call somebody and give them gratitude.
Yeah, Thankful Thursday. Thankful Thursday.
Thankful
Yes,
Thursday.
sir.
You
Yes, sir. You already know, baby. Yes.
So just taking that time to just talk, just be present with somebody for that 2 hours and stuff. That's awesome. That's awesome stuff right there.
No, gee, I wish we would get back to that. So this is like everybody listening. Go see somebody you usually don't see. Go listen to the story a little bit.
Hey, go out there and just be bold, man. Follow and subscribe to the pod. Just be bold today. Just go out, share
Follow
this
the KG podcast.
share that. This is the first in 79 episodes. This is the first time I've ever just boldly said share and follow the pod. So now, hey, be a friend, tell a friend. You might change your life. Pat McAfee quote, baby. I think that's hilarious, man. But no, in all seriousness, go spark a conversation. Like, hey, Max, you were on a great podcast today, man, sharing a great story. You're one of these guys, Luke, that I talk about all the time. Just a sweet dude that battled a lot, man. And I got to go here, Max, because we're kind of getting to this point. I need to know your keep going moment. I think I know, but I know our listeners are going to get something out of it. So what's your keep going, man? Someone that should have broke you that you got through.
So this is a very recent thing, actually. You probably do know it. So obviously, if this was a year ago, I would have said that taking a ball to the face was my keep going moment.
Rightfully so.
And over the past year, we're coming up on about a year since my dad has passed. And that has really put into perspective. It's put into perspective a lot, but the biggest thing that is put into perspective is my why, and that's the reason to keep going, and that's just simply like being around baseball is the thing that makes me feel connected to people, and I can't give that up. So that's my why. I want to keep going with that, and obviously want to win. I've got this burning passion inside me to win that I think taking a big loss will kind of reignite and then make you feel
Yeah.
the heat of that flame a little bit inside of you. So I
Yeah.
think that's probably my biggest keep going moment. And you know, a loss in life will make you really evaluate everything that you're gaining as well. So I think since that moment, I've really been able to put into perspective all of the friendships that I make, whether that's with my guys that are players, the rest of our coaching staff, the people that I see off the field and everything. It makes me feel like I have a purpose to go out and go get more young guys to keep playing baseball and be like, look, there's always a reason to keep going, and what's yours. And so that's kind of how I feel about what is my keep going moment, and keep
Man,
going from there.
I know he's proud of the son that he raised. So Max, just live with that. I'm sorry for your loss, man, and
Appreciate it,
man,
man. Thank you.
proud of what you're doing every day.
No doubt. Max, and that's obviously, I knew that. I was obviously at the services, and once again, I'm sorry for we love you, man. That's what we do.
No reason to be sorry. It's all good.
I know. I feel like now I like your perspective, man. I feel yourself doubling down in areas, knowing that you got people to impact. And
Exactly.
once again, I think the theme of this episode so far is you could go ahead and lay down, man. And honestly, in this situation, people wouldn't fault you for it.
Yeah, 100%.
People wouldn't fault you for it. You go ahead and lay down, and you could have been like, you know what? But you didn't. And I think it's powerful now that you get to help hundreds and thousands of players through this. Guys that probably you look at, you're probably having the feeling that I felt when I looked at you. You're probably having that feeling where I can save this guy. I can really be there for that guy. Because I can name 5 guys off the top of my head right now that I looked at that first day at Rock Valley and said, man, these guys don't know what they can be yet.
Yeah.
And
not even just from the baseball field.
Oh
just
my God.
people,
it's who
man.
they could be as people. We are not coaches. We are molders of men.
Exactly.
Luke is a molder of men and women that he comes across in the game of soccer. And if I would have had a coach like Luke or had a coach like Max Orput, man, these are life changers. So our players and coaches that are listening, if you're in a program right now and you're not getting this, I'd really invest on digging deeper into relationships, or you might be in the wrong spot. You might have to go in other spots to try to find that, because they're out there. Coaches like these guys are out there. Luke, what do you got?
Man, if you're in a program where you're not getting it, we need coaches like you. We need you to get out and be a coach that you wanted in your life. That's what me and Pat are doing. That's what example and Pat, and he's kind of continuing that tradition, passing the flame on. You give up a lot of time to be a coach, but the love that you get back is just double the amount of time that you give in. It comes tenfold, right? So get there and coach in your community. Get out there and coach at your high school and do some good for the kids around there, because they need really good examples nowadays, like Pat and Max, and that's what we need out there right now. So y'all get out and coach and do it the way you wanted to be coached back in the day.
Beautiful, Luke. Yes, that's absolutely beautiful. On. I got a couple things. I know it's a Sunday. I'm looking up at the clock at the 28-minute mark. So we got a 2-minute drill coming your way, Max. We're going to fire away with some questions here. I always have Luke start because, to be honest with you, I'm not that prepared. So go ahead, Luke.
Favorite in-person baseball game you've ever been to?
In person, this might have to be a recent one, just because. Does this have to be my career, or like pros, like MLB?
Minors, your career, any of them. You could have played in it. You could have watched.
Oh man, I got to go back to Sam Bolano hitting 2 nukes.
Oh my God! Game, yes, dude.
I think about this game pretty frequently.
So do I.
That was an awesome time to be a part of the Golden Eagle team, and I know they're doing great things right now. They just finished up a
40+ win for the Eagles.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep. But man, we got to take it back to 2020, whatever year that was. I remember we were playing some regional games at home at Rock Valley, and an absolute dog of a human being and player, Sam Bolano, 2
shout him out
on the field. Yep. Put us into the super regionals. So that was. I'll never forget just the feeling of the dugout that day, man. It was electric.
To give a little context here, and I'll go to my question. Sam Villano did not hit a home run all
What?
season in
I don't think
50 games
I don't
Two,
think we saw a lefty put a ball out at Rock
at Rock
Valley the
Valley
entire
all
year.
year. All year. Yep.
Yeah.
He
two,
comes up. He comes up and goes deep. I'll never forget this in the regional. First playoff game at Rock Valley in like 10 years, dude. Goes deep. I'm the first base coach. Goes deep. I'm in disbelief. I'm 22, Luke. I have no idea. I'm losing my you know what. I have no idea. Comes up later on in a huge spot. We're chasing a run or we're tied up. He goes back to left or to right and goes out again. Puts the hand up around first base like Kirk Gibson. You would have thought he's hit home runs his whole career. He was a slapper,
yeah.
dude. Little speed
Yeah.
guy. You know, those moments to this day, I'll never forget that day.
Yeah. That was awesome feeling to be a part. And I know we're getting up there in the time, so I'm sorry, but I am gonna throw in one more experience.
Good,
Oh,
man.
hell yeah, yeah. Well, dude, this is your podcast, man. Go ahead.
Um, a couple years ago, we were playing in the conference tournament. I was a coach at the time, so this is my first year as a coach. We were playing Aurora in the conference tournament, Edgewood versus Aurora. I think this is 2022.
Yep.
And at the time, Aurora they're a top 10 team in the nation. They're probably going to get a bid regardless if they win the tournament or they lose out or something. They were good that year. And I remember we had a good little start to the game, and in the second or third inning, another shout out, Tim Kelly. That's my guy right there,
Tim
TK.
Kelly. Mm-hmm.
Yep, he hit a grand slam, and I think the top of the third or something to put us up like 8-0 against Aurora, and that was another one of those moments where it was like, wow, this feeling right here, the dugout, everybody kind of rallied together. We're about to beat a top 10 team in the nation to get in the championship Sunday for our tournament. Man,
Yeah.
that right there was an awesome feeling. So I had to throw out one moment from Rock Valley, one from
Well,
Edgewood. So
Hey,
thank
I
you.
love it, man. No, I love it, and it's a tough allegiance, I would say, because I'm a Rockford University guy, obviously. My brother coaches at Benedictine, and then
Yep.
Max coaches at Edgewood, and there's like countless other
pull
guys.
all directions.
Yes, there's a countless other guys like in the NAC that I'm like, I love these
Yeah,
dudes. Who the hell do I root for? You know, it's
exactly.
cool. It's cool, man. Well, Max, I love that, man. My question is a little bit, I told some people around a bonfire last night I would ask this question, so here we are. Give
All
me
right.
your most underrated cereal.
Underrated cereal. Okay. Hmm.
I know one.
Yeah, Luke, if you
All right,
got
let's
yours,
hear yours,
yeah,
Luke. Let's
Luke,
hear
what you got?
yours. I gotta start.
Honey Smacks.
Dude,
Honey,
someone said that
dude.
last night. Someone said
I
that
was gonna
last night.
say I couldn't
Nobody
think of
knows
the
about
name
them. I
of
feel
them.
Yeah, green box, right? Green box.
yeah, frog on there. Oh my
Yep,
god.
the frog one.
Honey
I was thinking
smacks.
about. I thought they were like honey or like I couldn't even think of what they were called, but that was
I
one of them that I was thinking about. Honey
Honey
smacks.
smacks. Okay.
Honey
think
smacks. Okay.
Yep.
Honey smacks. Uh, I'm a real big fan of just like regular like what are they, Cocoa Pebbles?
Yeah, man.
I like
Respect.
those.
Rice Krispies.
Big
Respect.
Cocoa Pebble fan.
Oh yeah, respect.
Yeah,
Respect. No, that's all, man. We sat around last night, 30 minutes talking about favorite underrated cereals. Great conversation. All right, Luke, what do you got?
my dad's a Kellogg's worker. We grew up on stuff like
Yeah, man. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
that. How do you want to impact one life you're coaching?
How do I want to impact one life? Well, kind of to go back to what Pat was saying earlier. You see a guy that you're like, oh, this is somebody that I feel like I can fix. It's also funny. I always think about a Tyler Grant.
Yeah.
If you
T
remember T
Grant.
Grant,
T Grant.
he
Wow, I
was
didn't think
a
we'd go
first
there. I
baseman.
didn't think we'd go there today. Here we are.
He was I remember he would always joke around about if he got into coaching, he would go up to guys and be like, I used to be you, do it right now and stuff. So I always kind of have that image in the back of my mind. So if there's one way that I can help a single person, it's to get them to understand that they're not going through this alone. Their experiences are, their own personal experiences, but all of those experiences have been experienced in some sort of way by everybody around them, including me.
Yeah.
So if I can get them to realize that they are not alone, then I'm in the door and on my way to helping them. So
I
Yeah.
used to be you. I love that.
That's beautiful, man, because
I'll
that's
never
so
forget you guys
true,
saying
man.
that.
That's so true because you sit back and like you
Yeah,
don't know what you don't know, man. And like I think that's so powerful. Once again, to have somebody with you along for the ride that says, you know what, man,
exactly.
on your best, on your worst, on your indifferent days, we're gonna still ride. We're gonna ride.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of beautiful stuff in that for sure. Last thing, and I try to be better with this. I know we're coming up on time. We've done almost 80 episodes right now. So they let us jump on these platforms last 80. I don't know how, but we still continue to
Yeah,
soldier on. We soldier
right.
on here. What can we do for you, man? You've been such an impact on hundreds of people today. How can we help you with what you're looking to do in this, the mental health space?
So that's a good question, actually. I respect that question. Um, I would say, keep doing your thing. It's really nice and refreshing on, Instagram, Twitter, anything like that, to see posts from you guys about, being engaged with the mental awareness part of all of
Right.
this. So I would say the biggest thing, keep bringing people on and asking them hard questions, man. Asking them what their keep going moment is, all of that good stuff. The biggest thing for me, I would say, is just keep making people feel comfortable in this space. And the easiest thing in I would say college athletics is to feel like you are just kind of slipping away from everything. You're caught up in school, you're caught up in all of your weightlifting practices, all of that. Just keep people engaged to understand that people aren't alone. Kind of what I was just saying about impacting guys. So I think you guys are doing everything good that you can. So what I would say is keep doing your thing, man. Keep going. Keep going.
I love it, baby.
We
And
heard that. I love it though. I
yeah,
love
we
it.
love it, man. No, we love you, Max. And obviously you've been such a big part of my life as a player of mine and now as a coach in the same field, man. I'm so proud of you, dude. I know I've said that 5 different times, but you're a guy that I look back at the little kid that was 18, 19 years old. And I look at you now, man. I just sit here like this guy's impacting lives daily, man. So I'm so proud of you. Look what you got.
Thank you, brother. Thank
Yeah,
you,
man.
brother.
Max, I'm better to know you. Thanks for coming on the pod this morning, and above all else, man, just keep going. Keep
Keep
doing
going, baby. Keep going, baby.
Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Thank you, Luke.
All right,
Yeah.
boys.
what.
Take it easy.
Thank you.